your seed.
Why?
Well, to sleep with it.
And as you fall, Enwin is still on his feet. The rest of you fall and break all of the tables inside of the Cheshire Club. To which Bo goes, "Come on!"
Best day ever!
Group, though. He would work with the group because he likes Cass, and that would just be really, really awkward on the battlefield.
What?
I don't think that's an awkward. Perfect person to protect Cass. I
Wait,
like
what?
it. Let's go.
I'm still
I
here.
don't need protection.
I'm still here at the...
I know you are, sweetie.
Chris,
It's okay.
shh. The adults are talking. Shh.
Oh,
One
alright.
second, buddy.
I like it. I'm gonna. What did
Chris
you think
likes
of
Cass?
I like.
Where have you been?
Ibs was a little pretentious.
This was
and
my
for
favorite.
me.
I like Bob.
Thanks, Perry.
Alright.
Appreciate it.
Are you gonna leave?
Yeah, the crew needs me.
You go, and I'm gonna stay right here.
Oh my god.
And he nods his head. And he nods his head and walks you over to the door. And sort of opens the door.
Oh man.
There was mouth stuff poison? Oh yeah.
No smell stuff.
That came out wrong, sorry.
Sorry. I couldn't not laugh.
Person has died, Ryan. A little decorum,
Death
please.
due to mouth stuff. Come on. Get over it.
I'll go home
Smack him
now.
across the face. I'm like, wake up.
All right, you smack Ryan across the We're set up in these stands or floating above the water. Have never seen a ship cross the finish line, but first. And they all watch as the first thing they see is Monkey C. Written along the side of the ship, crossing and backwards. And you have crossed the finish line. Congratulations, crew. You have won the first high lock race for the briefest of seconds. Let them be. Let them love and hurt and change and tell stories and die fighting and pouring drinks and doing the right thing even though it hurts. Just let them be. We can give them that. What's going on, Indigo Chameleon audience? It's me, your good buddy Scribe, here to remind you of the fun ways that you can interact here on Indigo Chameleon, even when we're not streaming. One, we've got an amazing Discord. Come and hang out with us. We would love to have you there. You can find some inspiration if you need it. There's memes. There's even like fun ways for you to be like the first ones to know when we're looking for players for a remote one-shot or a one-shot located here at Indigo Chameleon Studios. So please come and hang out with us on the Discord. We would love to have you. We also have a merch store. Yeah, it's a chance for you, the dear viewer, to help us represent the brand a little bit. There's t-shirts, there's mugs, there's prints, there's shower curtains. So I hear one day you will be mine, shower curtain. So yeah, thank you so much for all your support. And as always, there's always a spot here at the table for you. You are the 7th player at this spot. You can use stream points by clicking that little karma right at the bottom of your screen, right where the chat is, one of those sides. You can do that and earn stream points. Every time you tune in, you help us raid, you spread the word, donate bits. That, well, I don't know about spreading the word, it'd be hard to track that, but all of those other things will help you earn stream points that you can use to help your players when they need it the most. Thank you all so much for all your support. Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday night here on Indigo Chameleon, and it is time for a little Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you so much for joining us. We might have to do a quick intermission at some point to accommodate to make sure all of our lovely, amazing, creative players get a chance to play tonight. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. As that really handsome guy said not too long ago, we have a Discord. We encourage you to come hang out with us on that Discord. It'd be great. Hi. So yeah, we've got a lot of great people out there. Yeah, of course. We're gonna go ahead and just tell you
You got
that.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
We have a Discord. Come hang out with us. We'd love to have you there. Not only do we have a Discord, but we also have a merch store. And yes, Critical Dice is still a sponsor here on the channel as well. You can always type in Indigo, which should
My
be
new dice today.
yeah. Did you get the regular bag or did you get the great big bag?
Get the regular bag. The great big bag would be like over the top for me, considering the number of dice I currently own.
That's okay. The great big bag came with a really large D20 and a skeletal D20 pin.
I got the skeletal D20 pin in the regular bag as well, which is really cool.
There you go. So yeah, lots of fun stuff going on here at the channel. Upcoming schedule for this week. Tonight is Thursday. On Friday we go to Neverland. Oh my gosh, where did we leave off in Neverland? Oh, you guys had just fought against the big Mama Mimic and changed the Mamic. As you fought the big Mamic, you also changed the alignment of one of the servitors of the Mama Mimic, and learned so much about what exactly the Mimic needs in order to establish a foothold here in Neverland. So it's a lot of fun if you enjoy Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and all of those stories. Come and join us tomorrow night. We don't have anything going on Saturday, but you can always go check out Icky V. Icky V has a stream usually on Saturday nights, and they usually have a game going on, and we like to support them. And there's all sorts of fun TTRPG streamers here in the space that we want to encourage you to spread the wealth and share the love a little bit as well. That's on Saturday. On Sunday, we've actually got 2 one-shots as we make the climb ever more towards 1,000 followers. If you were paying attention to the Discord this week, if you saw the announcements in the recruitment channel for Sunday and Monday, you'd see that there were 2 recruitments for one-shots this week. And one of them is based off of something that I saw on DM's Guild, which is dealing with that's the one on Sunday, it deals with an evil clown at the circus. And a group of heroes sent to stop this clown because I am terrified of clowns, including 2 homebrewed new races, including the Jester Rogue and the Clown Bard. The Clown Bard, most of their combat revolves around creating different balloon animals. So it's weird. So check that out. It's a lot of fun. That's going to be on Sunday. And then on Monday, Icky V is DMing a game. I'm not even DMing the game on Monday. I get to play in it. I get to be a player. This might be actually one of the first times that I've gotten to play with some of these players before, like on the other side of the table. So I'm very excited. Hey, thank you, Just FML. I hear it every time he says it. Clared all the way. You're fired. Please leave, Eric. Welcome to the chat, guys. But so yeah, join us on Monday for a very special Druid-centric one-shot. And then on Tuesday we go back to Wonderland as the crew is discovering more and more about themselves and forming alliances as they race ever towards their final destination, which sounds like death, but I don't mean it to be death. It's not death. It might be death for some of them. I'm just playing the odds here. Like, they're pretty. Anyway, so join us on Tuesday for a trip to Wonderland. And then yeah,
It's an option.
It's an option. It's always an option. And then we cycle back around to the Lost Isle. Death Adjacent.
Death Adjacent. That's
Thank
worse.
you. It's my new punk band, Death Adjacent. And the look on Meowda's face. I love you so much. Metal. 12 or 10 cents. Hello, you beautiful person. Welcome. And I think that's it in terms of announcements, in terms of upcoming schedule. I checking my notes. Yep, I'm supposed to tell 12 or 10 cents. They're a beautiful person, so thank you. Once upon a time, a Lost Isle. The crew has found themselves in the late 1800s, and they were they were tasked with finding Nikola Tesla and providing him a flash of genius. And helping him push him on the way towards self-discovery and understanding how his inventions can best be worked on and cared for. The group did something kind of like that. They used illusion and magic to convince Mr. Tesla that his invention indeed does create a portal to the other side. Um, and uh, and instead, they lost a party member as Turk's stalwart companion Wolf Garin was banished at the time of the incident, and due to the magics inherent in the portal, was whisked away to this ghost dimension. The group, through a confluence of events, is accepting the invitation to dine with Mr. Tesla this evening and are currently in a car to a place that they did not ask where they were going, but instead just hopped in the car with a stranger. And the stranger is driving them there.
Well,
this
that
evening.
sounds irresponsible. Why would we do that?
I don't know. And so I think we're going to pick up right there. You guys notice that Kiara is a little quiet this evening, a little contemplative as she looks out the window as the vehicle drives on. You have a bit of time. You are sharing this small space with one of the twins who sits in the back of this car with you, um, and and you see the driver is the other twin as he drives the car, and he does not say anything to you all, but you sort of drive in silence. Is anything discussed or talked about during this time?
Is Scorpio in the car with us as well?
Scorpio was standing outside of the car when you guys got in. The door was actually held open by, and I don't even know if I revealed that was Scorpio, but you guys kind of guessed.
He had a scorpion on the cane,
Yeah,
so
Scorpio opened was next to the car, but is not currently in the car with you, as far as you know.
So the woman in the overalls, is she in the vehicle with them?
She is not in the vehicle with you
Interesting.
that you can see.
now which twin is here? Is it the one that got his arm slashed when I cut the other one, or is it the?
It's
Left
hard.
or right?
It's hard to tell because the suits they were wearing no longer have any damage on them, and neither of them seem to be favoring a particular arm as if it had been hurt. So it's hard to tell.
To the one that's sitting in the back seat, right? There's one sitting in the back and there's one
Yes.
driving, or they're
One,
both. Okay.
one sitting in the way back, and one driving the car.
All right. So not knowing where we're sitting, I'll just like, can I ask him? So how do those nullification jacks?
Give me a persuasion check, Pally, as you're like, hey man, what's the deal with those little jacks? As William turns around and is his normal charismatic self.
Because that's me. You nailed it.
I got
so that's
you.
like an automatic. That's a win, right? Because I'm so charismatic.
I'm gonna
It's like an
lower.
automatic.
I'm gonna lower the DC because it's kind of disarming that you didn't make any small talk. Like, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? You just were like, hey man, those magical stuff you dropped. What's the deal with that? Like Jerry Seinfeld over here in the back of the car. Like,
What's the
Okay,
deal with
so
magical
it's
jack?
it's a 12 on the die, for 11 total. I'm so disarmingly charismatic.
He
Yeah,
looks
that's
at
it.
you and in a gruff voice says, "The kid made him."
Nice. Cool.
Do you guys have any candy?
Oh yeah, candy. Wait.
I mean, we got into your
Is that a
van.
thing
Normally,
in
that's how these
Roger's
things
green
work.
I just want you to know that Turk is not employing any small talk in any way, shape, or form. He is actually kind of brooding at the moment. And
As to be expected.
Turk here likes candy.
So it's a day that ends in Y, huh?
Turk, give me a brood
it's like normal
check.
Turkish.
Yeah, roll a d20.
brood.
Let's see how broody you are right now. On a scale of 1 to like Panic at the Disco. Like
any pluses that I add to this, or
no.
no
Name one
performance check?
disco song and you get a save.
That one Panic at the Disco song.
Yeah,
That would be Greatest Show.
there you go. He gets a free pass.
That would be a 16 on the brutish dice.
He's pretty
Oh,
broody.
brooding in the limo.
He's brood. Wow.
You're welcome.
He's pretty broody at the moment. And as you guys begin to,
And we just killed Mike.
the mic's dead. As you Trent, as you ask this guy if he's got any candy, he sort of turns to you, and he doesn't smile, but he reaches into the bag of Jacks and holds one up.
Ooh, absolutely.
I'll like go for a catching pose.
Oh god.
Like trying to get him to toss it to me.
He puts it back in the bag.
A look of disappointment crosses Trent's face.
Give me a brooding check.
That's an 8.
That's an 8. You're brooding, but you're not as broody as Turk.
Well,
What
also
other kind of
day
cool
that ends
things
in
you got in
Y.
your sack?
Do you say what other things you have in your sack?
Yeah, what other kind of cool things you got in the sack?
All right, we're gonna do
So
this.
it's gonna be one of those nights, huh?
He doesn't respond, but the car swerves a little bit. As the driver hears you, it's just a tiny little bit, but it's enough to make it so that you guys know that they're both listening to you.
Oh, so he hears what you hear, or you feel what he hears? Is that how that works?
You got it, Ark. Give me an insight check, William. This can be insight or intelligence, either one.
10.
10.
Boss.
You don't know.
It's like 50%. It's
Yeah.
halfway. It's
These
like halfway there.
These guys are odd. You don't know what's going on. But this is not the first time you've said something to one or done something to one that the other one reacted to. So you're not sure what's going on with this guy. Majority of the ride is silent. Like I said, it's just these two individuals in the car. You drive on and on. It's about a 30 to 40 minute drive where you are taken until you are taken almost out of the city proper and into a nice looking home on the outskirts of the city.
It's like on the range.
What's up, buddy?
It's like on the range.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a home on the range.
Home on the range.
Yeah. So as you make your way over to this area, you notice that there are cars flanking you all. There's a couple in front and one behind you all. But as the car comes up to a stop, you see this comfortable-looking home, but not too ostentatious, on the outskirts of the city. It's surrounded by other homes in the area. You wait a little bit, and then sure enough, the same girl that you noticed before wearing overalls pops up outside of where the door is to the car and opens it for you all. You are
up. Did she walk up or did she just appear?
Turk,
These words are
you were
important.
brooding a 16, my dude.
I am
You-
brooding.
No, that made me pause too. Let me go ahead and kind of perception on
Cass,
that,
give me a
because
perception check if you're
that
looking
would
for
have
it.
been very weird. Let's go with a 9, because we're in a car or something.
You're looking out the window. 1 minute, the car door is opening the next. You don't notice where she came from or how she got there.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Can I activate my eyeball?
Okay.
Do I see anything? Technomancy?
She's lit up.
Okay.
You're
I'll mention it on the way past as I get out of the.
You are greeted by the woman that you saw once before at Mr. Tesla's side. She's wearing a different dress this time. It is a beautiful sort of crimson red, and it is matched by hair up in a tight bun, and she's wearing a pair of reading glasses that sit perched on the edge of her nose. She looks at you all with a calm coolness in her smile, as it seems to be that she was waiting for you as you arrived.
Morgana?
Yes.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Esteemed guest, welcome to the home of Mr. Tesla. He is, for reasons unknown to me, he is beyond pleased to have a sit down with each and every one of you. Yes.
Do you have candy? I tried asking them, but they didn't.
She will take a few steps forward, Tren, to where you are, and she will appraise you, looking up and down at. We actually just lost Wolf. Oh, there he is. He's coming in.
I'm interested to know how much he's worth too. So.
She looks you up and down and says, "We have everything that you would like to eat. Don't worry."
Hear that, Turk? They have candy here.
I am going to make a request. Mr. Tesla has a cursory knowledge of the existence of magic in this world. He understands the basic goings on, that there are beings and individuals that are tapped into it. As you'll notice, some of my associates, she gestures at some of the cars. At the two twins that are gotten out of the car, you'll see a handful of other individuals that are leaving where you are and the cars and heading up inside the house. My associates, you will notice, also have a full understanding of the rules of the world as we know it. My only ask is that you are patient. Nicola is a genius man, but most mortals are not ready to accept the truth of the world that exists under the one we know. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he know what he made, or are you keeping that from him, or what?
The portal?
Yeah.
I may
Like,
have.
does he know that that's actually what it is, or like, did you do that, or?
Huh. He thinks it's what he built with his genius mind, and I'd like to keep it in that way.
Okay, but like, you didn't really answer my question, so I'm getting the impression you're not gonna. Am I right?
Okay, let's try this a different way. Why don't you explain to him that this machine is not what he built, and that your short friend in the odd-looking hat actually tricked him into believing that all of his life's dreams have come to fruition. So when you're able to explain that to him, you can explain the other things as well.
Another question. Why
Hang
did
on.
you make
She
this
puts
to
it,
fail?
no, she puts a finger up to you. I just want to see if your friend has anything else that she wants to add to this conversation.
Oh yeah, actually, I guess that means you see that that's not a short person, and that's actually a tall person in the cowboy hat? Or can you see the short person? Like, what's...
I can see that she's a short person. I can see
You
that
see that that's a she. Okay.
is an illithid. I can see for
Is
some
that why
reason
you...
this one is wearing colonial clothing, but the image of colonial clothing was upon him fairly recently. This one is a furbolg, and I'm not sure what you're doing here.
Me?
All of
Or
you.
all of us? Oh, well, we were invited.
Fine.
Customarily, it's not kind to refuse an invitation, so we showed up.
Absolutely. 100%. Tren, was it? What was your question?
Why did you make that contraption to fail?
I thought it an easier letdown for him. Better for him to create and have it go wrong and attribute it to science than the other way around.
So how does the Zodiac fit into this? And you in charge of them?
Yeah. Hang on just 1 minute. She looks up as if she's having a silent conversation with an individual that walks into the space. It's a gentleman who's wearing a somewhat obnoxious orange-looking suit. He is he's standing there, and he comes over to her, and he taps his head, and as he taps his head, she looks over at him. And as that happens, he begins to gesture at the party. He points over to Tren and starts touching points on his own body. And Tren, you notice him then turn to William and start touching parts of his body. And then he looks over to Texas and Cass and starts pointing to parts of his body again. With each movement seems very sort of deliberate and articulated. And it is very easy to see that he is pointing to or referring to the parts of you that are adorned with magical items. As if he was wearing a detect magic spell and was able to see the parts of you that are glowing. So she nods her head gratefully and touches it, and he nods his head back and touches his, and begins to walk towards the house. Well, dinner, an invitation has been extended. So it would be remiss of us not to allow that invitation to take place. So shall we? And she will gesture her arms. We're going to take a real quick intermission, really quick. We're going to check on Turk and make sure that he's okay. And then we'll see you guys in just a second. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your patience. sorry about that. We just wanted to make sure that everybody was okay and get things set up. Turk will be joining us here in a little bit. Icky V is going to be taking the night off, as Kiara is going to look somewhat contemplative this particular episode. So we love her. Yes, you guys are all led inside to a small coat room. Where you were greeted by another individual that you have, I don't think you have yet to meet. This is a woman who has somewhat tan looking skin. It looks reddened by the sun. She's wearing some gloves at her side and looks to be wearing a pair of work pants, a shirt, and a trench coat. But as you come into this space, she's a tall woman, almost as tall as Kiara, but a little bit shorter. But she's got very strong arms, from what you can see outlined with the trench coat itself. And as you come into this space, Morgana, Miss Morgan, will gesture to her and to individual boxes that you see set up in the cloakroom. And she says, if you wouldn't mind leaving all of your weapons and magical items here for the duration of dinner, that would be lovely. You are guests in our home, and so I would be remiss to let you wander around armed.
Yeah.
How do we know this is going to be safe? I mean...
Oh, you have my promise. You're here under the rules of hospitality, are you not?
Are we?
And in a very brooding manner, Wolf divests himself of all magical items except for the ones covering his loins.
There you are. Now, was that so hard?
Okay, I'll put stuff down.
Here is how this is going to work. All of your magical items have been identified. Anything larger than a magical item, you're going to see, regardless of the illusion being able to hide it, be it weapons or a bow and things of that sort. Now, if it is large enough to fit in your hand, if you would like to do a sleight of hand check in order to palm it, to keep it on your person, you are more than welcome to do that. But should a secondary check be made, they're going to spot it. If they do spot it again, there's a chance that they could take it, and it's a break of the rules of hospitality. You guys have had enough time spent in different areas. Yes, exactly, Patros. You've had enough time spent in areas that, as long as the rules of hospitality are up, they cannot make a move against you. You cannot make a move against them. But if any of you were to break that by, say, not following the rules, it could be a forfeit. You're not sure. Okay?
Do the rules of hospitality include a long rest before we go into the room to dine?
I suggested many people to.
I had spell slots. Okay,
Sure.
I'll leave my stuff.
Cass is going to remove the weapons and all the, she doesn't really have a whole lot of armor that would need to be removed, but she would probably forget to take off that necklace.
Which one?
But that is not a weapon. It's like a ward. So I don't know how that's going to play.
Okay, is it your focus?
No.
What
It's the necklace that Maisie gave her and Kiara.
Okay. Is it magical?
You said had what is it? Amulet of Death Ward.
Okay. Sure. But if you're playing it so that Cass doesn't remember that it's magical, that you would just keep it on, then that's fine. Everything else is taken off. She is also going to have you remove any sort of focus that you have, Cass, which is going to make casting spells a bit more difficult unless you have the components readily.
Okay. Before she removes the focus, then she's going to ask if Morgan's
Miss Morgan.
If she's still in the room, then Cass will ask her. is it fine if I heal some of my wounds before I go in? I'm feeling a little ill from some of the earlier activities of the night.
Are you? What activities are those?
I'm sorry, it broke up.
Are you feeling ill?
From previous wounds, yes, that I've
What
not
ac-
yet tended to.
What activities are those?
We were unfortunately attacked earlier in the evening, and
Oh
I
no,
tended.
by a mimic?
I'm not sure what it was. It ended up with me forgetting where I was entirely, so I'm not sure.
What a shame. Why, yes, of course. Before you put these items down, if any of you would like to utilize this space to
Yes.
cast upon yourself, to please, by all means. But then please leave those items behind.
Now, Wolf had cast the spirit healing, the healing spirit.
The healing aura. I'm going to say, because of the healing aura and that conversation that took place, the only one immune to that would have been William, who stayed out of that room while everyone was arguing or having their conversation. So everyone but William should be at full health right now.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't understand what that spell did.
Yeah.
Cool. Healing for a bunch. Thanks. Then I will just go ahead and, now that I'm back at full health.
Just making it clear at this point, Turk's armor, which is what he wears, is magical.
I understand. And I think the understanding is you're not wearing a bunch of clothes under that, so they're letting this particular thing slide. But this is the first time in a long time that Turk has been without his bow, correct?
In an extremely long time.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that trade-off is fair. So she looks over at you, Texas.
I put everything down, but I do almost an eyebrow raise about my mandolin before I leave it.
Okay. She raises an eyebrow with you.
Like you're gonna leave that, right? That kind of an eyebrow raise.
I don't think she understands what your eyebrow raise is.
I'm gonna put the mandolin down and leave it.
Okay.
Oh, no. Cass is definitely taking off the neck.
You sure?
Yeah, because it was tangled in around the focus. It had to have come off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Necklace is off. Tren.
I'm putting all my stuff down, including my Eldritch Cannon.
Got it. All of it is placed inside of a small cubby, and you are each handed tickets. She waits till the very end to get to you, William.
I'll pull off my kick butt bunny slippers and pull out my thinking sack, and I'll put those, and then I'll take out the papers. It's okay if I can. It's magical paper, but it's my dad's, and I don't really feel comfortable leaving it. I'll just put it in my pocket. It's a memento from my father, so I'll just put that in my pocket, and you guys can obviously see that there's nothing in my hands, and I'll be more than happy. That in my eye. I can't take out my eye.
You mentioned it was sentimental, correct? It belonged to your father?
Yes.
Then absolutely it stays here.
In my pocket.
No,
Excellent.
It stays here.
Why?
Because it belonged to your father, and it's magical.
That seems...
It could be formed into a weapon of some sort, couldn't it?
Well, if I'm sitting there and you could see me, how could I form it into a weapon?
Fine. Take the paper.
I assure you, I only keep it because it's from my father. I intend no ill will or harm, and I guarantee you, promise even, I will do no harm.
Absolutely. I'll just be holding on to your spell book.
Oh, whatever. I told you, it is of no threat to you.
She holds out a hand for your spell book.
I'll hold it and place it right in her hand.
Okay. She takes the grimoire from you. While this is gone, you will. It's a big deal, pal. All of your knowledge of spells is stored here within this book, and you study it to gain knowledge of the spells you are going to cast on a daily basis.
Right.
So, she
I
puts
would only be able to cast cantrips.
right. Okay, so she puts the spell book away at her side and in another one of those little boxes. Grim has given William or Texas a +5. You two are going to have to fight over it.
That's okay. William can have it.
Well-
Because I technically, we have to discuss
Wait.
it, but I technically have one left over that Icky gave me last time. So we just have to discuss how we do that.
Well, I tell you what.
You never
First
used
come,
it.
first serve. If you need it,
Do.
take it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll use it as needed.
I use
Hopefully,
that.
I won't need it because I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. All right. All of these.
I'm not.
Yeah, she's not. All of these items are placed away in the coat check, and you notice the woman behind the counter that is there assisting. Uh, very quickly tears off a ticket and holds it out to the group.
Is there any other technomancy around?
None that you can see.
Gotcha.
I'll grab the claim ticket from the woman.
Okay. As you grab the claim ticket, she nods at you and then makes her way inside the house. She goes, perfect, lovely. If you'd like to join us in the dining room for aperitifs, dinner will be served presently. I do want it known that Mr. Tesla was expecting one for dinner. So this will be a very pleasant surprise. Give us some time to set the appropriate place settings for all of you.
Does that require your attention? Because it'd be an excellent opportunity to talk to you about my. I'd like to hear your side of the story.
I'm sure there will be plenty of time for that, but I must see and attend to Mr. Tesla. So, if you'll all excuse me, may our paths cross very soon. And she will nod at you all and make her way into the space, opening the doors from the cloakroom into a living space. You see this area as a very simplistic living space. It's a first floor. It doesn't look like there's a second floor to this small home. The walls are plain, comfortable, and you see wood panels and wood flooring. The room smells faintly of smoke. You're not sure what sort of flavor of smoke, but it looks like there was a fire here at some point. It gives everything a sort of a smell of burnt flavor to it. However, before you all, down this hallway and to the left, you see a dining room where a few individuals, not just Mr. Tesla, are congregating for drinks. Holding small glasses. Some of them are smoking, and all of these individuals are moving about the space, engaged in polite conversation. You now have full run of the home, or as much as you would like to have full run of this home. You have been invited to the dining room for aperitifs. But should you need to go anywhere else, you are welcome to do so.
What's the vibe like here?
Give me a vibe check. Are you walking into the dining room, Cass?
A vibe dice is a
give me insight. This will be a general insight of the entire room. We love you too, Grim. 17. It's honestly reserved. It doesn't look malicious in any way. Many of the conversations that you hear of are of a polite nature. Did you see the demonstration today? And after a bit of time discussing, you realize that some of these individuals are investors. Those that were, you might even recognize a few of the faces that were there today that were, take all the money I have. I want to talk to my uncle. I want to talk to my father, my mother, my child, that passed on from this earth. And Mr. Tesla is currently engaged in conversation with the girl that you saw earlier in the overalls. She's located at the very back of the room, and she seems to be holding up what looks to be a sheet of paper that's a shade of blue, and pointing out different things to him. And he's drinking, but also drinking, but also pointing at things and sort of sending her off to a little area.
Is she the only woman in there, other than Morgan and
Okay,
us?
so it's Morgana, it's her,
Right.
and that's it.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm
She
looking
says
for Tesla.
deviously with no plan.
Yeah. Tesla. Okay. So Tesla's at the back of the space. And like I said, he's engaged in conversation. I'm not going to make you roll for it. Nobody's really hiding at this point. He's engaged in conversation with the woman that you saw earlier wearing the overalls. I will say this. Um, everybody give me perception checks. If you are walking into the dining room, if your plan is to stay on the outskirts of this, then this is not for you. But if you are planning to walk into this space and join everyone for drinks and food and things of that sort,
17.
17 for Texas,
23.
23 for Tren,
That's 24 for Turk,
24 for Turk because he's got to outdo
whose
his son.
perception is looking for an actual open bar or something going.
Oh, okay, all right. Cass,
11.
Leavian, William.
No, I am an outskirts fella.
You're an outskirts fella. You're on the outskirts of things. Okay. Turk, your perception check to find the bar, a man after my own heart. You do find an individual that's tucked away in a small corner of the dining room. He's got a big smile, and as people come up, he seems to be fixing a couple of different types of drinks. It's not an extensive, there's no sign that says like free, but it seems to be fixing drinks, pouring glasses of brandy, and it looks like some liqueurs, pre-dinner drinks, bottles of wine have been opened. But Turk streamlines, I guess, head ends for that.
He is heading, and that's where his direction is headed.
All right, Tren. As you survey the space, Cass, it's hard to get a beat on things. It's a lot of information overload, and the place is pretty, but it's not ostentatious.
Yeah, Cass is gonna stick with Turk.
Yeah. Okay, so you two head towards the bar. Tren, you take a second to analyze the situation. I would expect nothing less from the artificer in the group, as you notice a couple of elements that the group does not see. Spread casually throughout the room, engaged in polite conversation, you do see these investors. However, some of these groups are having conversations, but occasionally side-eyeing Mr. Tesla. And they're not looking at Mr. Tesla, they're looking at the individuals close to Mr. Tesla. And you see one of the twins who looks like he's smiling, but he's got like a fake smile on. And you wonder how many of these individuals are actually investors and how many of them are pretending to be and spread throughout various choke points in the room. There's a fake person near every window. There's a fake person near every entrance into this room, and it looks like there's a fake person on either side of Mr. Tesla.
I'm taking 1 minute to make a quick scan, especially around these people around the room.
Okay.
And I'm casting detect thoughts so I can get surface thoughts.
How are you doing
You're
that?
casting a spell?
Oh, am I not able to if I don't have the mandolin, even if it's not a mandolin-based spell?
You do not have a focus.
Because all of my magic is through
If there are components, if there are material components for this spell.
There are, yes.
Then you cannot do this unless you have a focus. So,
Okay.
so you've got to look for stuff that has verbal and somatic components for stuff.
No,
but
even though my material is a copper piece, it's not a magical component.
Do you want to
It's
look
just a
around the room
copper
for
piece.
a copper?
I would have dropped everything, including any money I have, because a copper piece in itself is not magical.
It is not. Sure, I would have said you would have been able to hold on to a piece of money, a copper piece, if you will. So you're just going to cast this in the room.
I'm not going to be dumb about it. Like I'm going to an area where nobody can see the somatic components when I cast, but I want to make a quick circuit. I want to get surface thoughts on.
Would that be a
people
breach
in
of
the room.
hospitality?
No, not
Okay.
unless she hurts someone with this spell. You have not been forbidden from casting tonight. You have been forbidden from a couple of things. One, it is from being malicious in an attack towards anyone here at this party tonight. And two, introducing Mr. Tesla too quickly to the world inside of this world, the magical world that you guys are all a part of. Okay, you walk out of the party. You quickly cast Detect Thoughts.
Do you need to know anything more about it? Okay.
Cool. And you're going to walk around and you're going to hop this spell.
I'm just strolling. I'm just seeing what I can pick up. As your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature you can see within 30 feet of you.
How many people do you think you could hit in 1 minute?
Well, it's a maximum of 10, because if we're talking one action is 6 seconds.
Okay. Would you hit all 10 if there were 10 people in this room?
I would try as much as possible. I want to find out what they have in common, kind of what's on their mind.
Okay.
If I can get away with that in a minute. If the room is spread out enough, then I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. But like, if I can only realistically get to 5, that's fine too.
No, I would
just a general gauge on the room, especially from these people.
Okay. So how about this? 1, 2, and 3 are actual individuals.
Okay.
Okay. You get over to the small clump over here, and they are talking about like, I want to talk to Grandpa. I want to talk to Dad. I want to talk to Mom. I want to talk to Daughter. I want to. Their minds are aflame. You briefly press into them, and for 4 and 5, a couple near the first window, you hear.
Like there's like another language, or just it's like it's censored.
It's like a crackly noise. It's a.
Okay.
Okay, that's 4 and 5. 6, I'm going to go ahead and make the assistant.
Okay.
A surface thought. It does sound. Thank you, Arcady. That's what I was going for. For the assistant, she's wondering where William is. And she's wondering where William is, and she's worried that Cass is going to get angry.
Okay.
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 Next individual, 7, is that same crackly. I'm going to say 7 and 8 are crackly.
Okay.
9 is going to be the girl with the overalls.
Okay.
And for her, you hear 5, 7, 9, 8, 4, 3, 1, 4, 7, 9. It's just a string of numbers that seem to go on like 3.1, 4, 5, 9, 7, 3. Like, yeah, like it seems like it goes on.
Wait, this is important. Is it those numbers? 3.14.
It's pi.
She's doing pi.
It's pi, and give me an insight check if you would stop at 9.
That was a nat 20.
Okay. You're walking around the room, you're being nonchalant about it, and as you look at people, they seem like they're concentrating on things, and as you turn to face her, in your nonchalant walk, she stares at you. And she's going 3.14, and she's listing off the things of pi, because she knows what you're doing.
At least it's not Taylor Swift.
Hey, I just met you. It's crazy.
Okay.
But this is pi. Don't read me, maybe. Like.
Got it.
Okay.
All right.
And she just kind of stares at you a little bit.
I smile at her.
And she goes back to it, but you can see she's still thinking of numbers.
I'm gonna walk towards her. I mean, other people can do stuff too, but eventually she and I are gonna have a conversation.
Okay. What is everybody else doing during this time? Turk, you head up towards the bar. Tren is studying the room, man. He's got a beat on everything, and people are moving, and you're sort of predicting their movements and things of that sort. Actually, William, what are you doing outside the space?
Taking in the whole room to
You're welcome,
see
Pat.
who's doing,
Just-
see who's moving where, being observed, just paying attention.
So, okay. You're kind of looking around the space. So this would be you in the room. So when I ask who's going in the room, this would be you. You're going in the room, unless you're standing outside and you're seeing who leaves and exits and things like that.
Yeah, no, just the outskirts of the room.
Okay.
On the not like I didn't move into the middle of the group. Just kind of stay along the outside wall. Maybe like if they're
sure. Like this is a high school dance, and you're that guy.
And I'm doing exactly what William would have done at a high school dance.
Okay. Give me a perception check, pal. Thank
the
you,
highest
Mark.
roll I've gotten so far. Let's see what this. Yeah, it's +3. That's going to be a 17 total.
Love that book. 17 total. You are setting the room, and I would say that with a 17, you would start to notice that some of the individuals keep like motioning towards Mr. Tesla, but that's not uncommon for a party. You know what I mean? Where people are just kind of excited to see him. You do notice that he's the focus of a lot of people, which also doesn't surprise you. You do notice after a second that. What do I want to give you with a 17? You're on the outskirts, right? And you're just you're picking up a general vibe of the place, or you're looking for people on the.
Well, obviously I'm leery. Like I'm making sure that we are okay because at any point something could go down in my mind because we're, as far as I know, we are in enemy territory.
How about this? A group of what people looks to be like the servants or the caterers, however you would like to view them, come out and they start setting the table up for more spots. At one point or another, somebody accidentally bumps into one of these caterers and a glass falls off the table. You're anticipating the sound of breaking glass, but faster than your eye can see, this person is able to reach and catch this glass from the time that it was knocked off of the table before it hits the floor. And set it up.
Now, did it look like they moved before the glass fell or after the glass fell?
It either looked like they moved before the glass fell or they set it up so that they knew the glass was going to fall.
Gotcha. Try to determine if they were faster speed or they were aware of the incident in a time and space way. Does that make sense?
It not with a 17, it could be either.
Okay. Well, I will continue to focus more on that kind of thing going forward.
It's a young kid.
That was out of place.
It's a young guy. He's got kind of dark skin, straight black hair. And as you like notice him do this, he kind of looks over at you and just kind of puts his eyes down and walks back into the kitchen.
And no technomancy in the room.
No, the overalls. The one that Texas is walking towards.
That's the only.
This girl is lit.
Chock-a-block.
This party's lit. No, this girl is chock-a-block with technomancy.
Gotcha.
Okay. Turk, what are you drinking, pal?
Whatever's in the bottle.
Okay.
He's not being very discriminate at the moment. He is in a brood mode, wondering why we are doing dinner while one of our own is missing, and he's not concentrating on drinking. He's not thinking about drinking.
This
he's
is an
just drinking.
act of rebellion. This drinking. It is.
It's not really. It's this is more subconscious drinking than anything. He's not thinking about what he's bringing in.
Right.
All he's thinking about is Wolf right now.
Just Wolf
and will continue to drink as long as people are putting drinks in his hands.
Pat Draws in the chat says you need to be careful because they ended up married drinking that way. So just be aware. I never thought of that as a conclusion for your character, but who knows? So Turk, yeah, you start drinking kind of non-discriminately, having as much as you can because you're worried about your best friend. You're part of your soul. Cass, I think you would notice this. Give me a Constitution saving throw, Turk. As Turk just starts going like, oh, I'm gonna double fist it, and he gets like 2 drinks and just is drinking to forget.
That's a 19 on the Constitution.
Okay.
Saving throw, right?
You're starting to feel it. You still have your faculties to you, but you definitely got a nice gentle buzz as some of these individuals are walking around the bar. Everything's starting to give you that nice little fade out.
Can I message Turk?
No, you are not paying attention to any of this.
Okay, because he's not part of the room.
No, he is part of the room, but you are on the outskirts of it. So, and I think you would notice that he is drinking, but I want to give the people that are right next to him a chance to react before you.
Gotcha.
That's me. Cass is going to take a look at the bar options and see if there's something that looks like it's probably either alcoholic or kind of sweet. And see if maybe the bartender would mix up something of that variety.
Alcoholic but sweet?
Like
sure.
maybe not something straight.
Yeah.
Not 2 fingers of brandy or something.
Sure. He makes you a concoction that's got a lot of cherry in it. Like some cherry, like some maraschino cherries and stuff like that, and tops it with some syrup and stuff like that. So it's got a sweet kick to it. It's almost like he goes a little heavy with the sugar on an old fashioned, and gives you 2 old fashions that have a more leaning towards cherry than anything else.
Okay.
Or you can take Ark's suggestion and just get a Manhattan.
That would be fitting and apropos, but the cherries and the sugar, I can't say no.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Cass is gonna grab the 2 drinks and then put her hand on Turk's back and ask him, "Honey, let's go sit down. If you want to talk about this, we need to do it when you're a little sharper and not dull. And I do want to talk to you about this, but it's not something we need to do at the bar. And I got you one too, which is gonna hold up the drink and shake it so the ice jingles against the glass."
Give me a persuasion check.
I'm gonna let him take this one. This is unconventional.
It's a 9.
I rolled a nat 20 on my decision whether or not I was going to go with you, and I needed to see if your persuasion could beat his brood at the moment. And
Wait a second. Go ahead and give me a roll at disadvantage as you are slightly buzzed, and the girl with 2 drinks in her hand says, "Hey, let's go sit somewhere and talk."
That's still a 15 on the brood.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my +5 from Grim from the 3 game.
Grim would want it this way.
Thank you, Grim.
Yeah.
And with that, I would probably. I'm not being mean not being mean in the refusal. He is just in a dark place right now.
Sure.
And I think with that +5 added, he would probably go with you.
Are we sitting in this room? Are we sitting at the table? Or are we going outside and trying to find like a lounger or something like that?
Anywhere where there's 2 seats close enough together, we don't have to speak across a table.
Sure. Outside in the area, right outside the sitting room, there's a couple of little like benches set up. You see some nice paintings and things of that sort. So you 2 head out to there. Tren, what are you doing during all this as Turk and Cass leave the room?
I'm still just looking around for any sign of trouble or anything?
Yeah.
I might join some conversations, just kind of small talk, not really paying attention to what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm about it. Texas, what about you?
I'm headed towards overalls, girl.
Okay.
Still.
Okay. She's standing there, and then she keeps like repeating the numbers over and over in her head, and looks up at you and goes, "Hi."
Hi. So, really like numbers, huh?
You really like reading people's thoughts, huh?
Well, I'm trying to learn.
Well, have you tried talking to people?
Well, that's what I'm trying now. You want to talk?
So talking to me was your plan B.
Well, it wasn't really scanning you
No,
per
you
se.
definitely
It was
scanned me
no,
because you
it
came
was
up to me and you were
kind
said,
of generally
"Hey,
across the room.
like numbers much?"
Hey, you want to
And
start
then
over?
I responded with, "Like reading people's thoughts
I
much?"
could have tried to pretend like I didn't. I was up front.
Oh God.
It's true.
So hi, I'm Texas.
Hello.
Okay, so we don't want to do the names thing. That's fine. But
I don't really have one.
you don't have a name.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen her get in with all these other. Although, see, I wouldn't know. Texas wouldn't know horoscope stuff, so I wouldn't really.
People shared information.
Okay. Do I have any sort of connection to what I would know about horoscopes visually from her? Like she doesn't have an obvious like.
She's not wearing a tattoo.
Right.
She's also not wearing a name tag that says, "Hey, I'm."
I don't know if you guys saw our Discord chat, but somebody just came up with a call her pie.
Call her a pie.
Cutie pie.
Well, I mean, we could dance around this and try to see if we can get information from each other all day long, or I could just be up front. I mean, it looks like you got friends that are related to Scorpio and constellations, and I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to get the bottom of what's going on and help things out. And obviously I can't do much damage here because all my magic stuff's out there, and you seem to know what's going on, and I don't know. I'm just trying to help make this right.
Make what right?
Well, obviously Tesla's having some issues, and I tried to help out, and I might have made some things worse, and we've got a missing friend that somewhere, I think in his contraption.
You weren't trying to help out. You were trying to cheat.
Well, I didn't see it that way, but maybe you would.
I did, and I
Okay.
do.
Well, why do you see it as cheating?
Because it was fake. It wasn't real. It was an illusion.
Well, yeah, but sometimes an illusion can help. He's got a lot of people that are willing to help him pursue his dream right now because of that illusion. They would have just walked away.
That's fair. That's fair. Which one of your friends?
He's a wolf.
Okay.
He's an unusual sort of a wolf. He's not your traditional wolf. He's really hard to describe. Sometimes he's a surfboard. It's confusing.
She nods her head, but you could see that like even she is like
All you have to know is he is a dear friend.
You should call him.
Well, I tried contacting him, but I was able to, but I don't know where he is or how to get to him.
Was he? And she nods her head and she goes, "Okay, okay, okay." You want to know where he is?
Yeah.
And she walks out of the room. She just like she goes, "You want to know where she is?" And then
I follow her.
she just walks out of the room. Yeah, she just starts leaving, and you see Texas being like, I think I got this. As Texas, you are led outside of this room, past Cass and Turk, who are sitting there, and into a study. Do you say anything to Turk and Cass as you walk out of the room?
As I pass them, I'm trying to subtly give them like a shrug wink, like a this could be good.
Cool.
Hopefully I don't die.
You guys get a shrug wink from Texas as she walks into a room with by herself with the girl.
Going. Turk is thinking, well, she's kind of short, but she's kind of cute, I guess. And then returns to his drink.
Okay. Cool.
Can Cass feel that thought? Teasing. Please
Roll
don't
to
make
see
me
if you're
roll
into
for
it. You're super into it. Yeah. So, William, what about you, pal? You would notice this as well. Turk and Cass have left the room. Texas has left the room during the dinner party. Other individuals are about the space. You're welcome to lean back with Tren and just kind of scope things out and keep your eyes on things for the time being, or you're welcome to be a little proactive.
The group that's talking to Tesla,
Mm-hmm.
does he seem thoroughly engaged by them, or is it more of a just can I?
Tesla's unoccupied at the moment. He
Okay.
was talking to the girl in the overalls, and Texas kind of came by and was like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going? Have you met me?" And just sort of like interjected herself in the conversation.
Gotcha.
So because
Then
of
I
that, Tesla's
would like to
unoccupied.
take this time to engage Tesla,
Okay,
if
yeah.
possible.
He notices you coming up, and you can see memory kind of clicking in place, like he's met you before.
Yep.
And it was a weird meeting.
I'll extend my hand.
Hello.
Sir, it's great.
Yes, you were
Again.
held by my bodyguards, yes?
Yeah, it was a terrible misunderstanding. Thank you for inviting us to dinner.
Did I?
Or having your people invite us. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, I'm happy to be there.
Generous.
Sure. Are you an investor?
I'm more of a people person per se. I'm interested in a lot of things. Your
Yes.
work is rather interesting,
Ah,
and
yes, it
I've
is.
read a little bit about it.
Of
But
course.
today's situation was rather interesting. Is this the only thing that you're working on right now? What else do you have going?
Well, what is it that you are interested in? What do you know of my work?
Just what's been posted, and I'm more interested in learning what you want told about it. Everybody gets stuff in the papers wrong or stuff in the news. I'm more interested in what you want people to know.
Where is this post?
The paper?
Oh, yes. Of course.
You have read your articles, haven't you?
No. Are they
Oh.
printing? I will look into this. Yes, of course. I have many ideas.
You're a prized individual. Your thoughts are cutting edge. People talk about these things. Are you being sheltered from this? I think this
I would like to hear more about me. Please sit next to me at dinner tonight. I would like to hear more about what is being said about my greatness.
Would be my pleasure.
Yes.
To pick such a fantastic brain.
Pick a brain. Yes, of course. And he snaps his fingers, and the snap kind of cuts through the dim, and you see a lot of individuals react to it, including his assistant, who looks over and almost rushes to his side when he sees who he's speaking to, and he goes, please make sure that this. I'm sorry. What is your name?
William.
William, yes. Please make sure that William has a seat right next to me. Maybe scooch yourself down one. And she grits her teeth and nods her head.
Oh, I don't mean to push your assistant out of the way. She
is fine. She's
don't
a
want
woman.
to offend.
She is a woman. She does not understand the intricacies of science.
I see. That's
his face just before she leaves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, as long as I am not offending, then very well.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Give me a minute. Dinner will begin presently. And
Excellent.
he nods at you and makes his way back out of the room as he looks to leave the room and go somewhere else for a moment. Cass and Turk, let's head back to you guys.
Turk, are you talking more with your drink than engaging with the room? Like, are you even looking around? Or are you just looking at your drink?
I'm more looking at my drink than anything.
Okay.
I probably would have just with my passive perception and have noticed when Texas and the other short one went past. But I doubt I would have acknowledged the wink or anything of that nature, putting two and two together.
Okay. So, Cass is getting pretty frustrated with Turk right now, so she's gonna lay into him a little bit, and she's gonna get up real close into his face, and not a friendly way, but like not in a kind way. Listen, you have lost your buddy, and we are trying to do what is absolutely necessary to grease the wheels where brute force will not work. We can't just smash everything up and hope that it all works. As much as I want to smash everything up, because I can't get the thing I want either, I still have to play by the rules. Do I want to sit here drinking this drink? I don't know, maybe it might actually be good. But we have to follow the path that's in front of us. We cannot trudge through like yucky, mucky dirt without messing up everything else. We're gonna leave yuck for, and it's not gonna be pretty. So you have
DM,
to
exactly
play
how
by-
drunk is Turk at the moment?
You've had 2 drinks in you because you haven't gone back to the bar, right?
Well, I probably finished the one that she brought for me as well.
Was that for
Yes.
her? Oh.
No, one was for Turk. That's why I got
Con save, disadvantage. This is 3 drinks in.
Well, that was a 4.
drunk pep talks by Cass.
So that'll be a 6 total on my
Oh.
Constitution save.
Drunk Pep Talks with Cass is my new favorite podcast, by the way.
I'm getting on like
So I'm feeling it at the moment, correct?
You are, man. You're a little blitzed.
Turk leans forward and kisses Cass as she's talking.
Cass, you're just like, you know what? We just gotta we gotta bear down. We gotta work together, and Turk just leans. Turk just leans forward and kisses you.
Cass is going to put her hand on his shoulder, not gently. It's more like a, hey, that's not what I meant. And she's going to tell him that that's not the solution.
Are you pushing him away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, stop. And that is not what I meant.
He leans back in his chair and
that won't fix anything.
And kind of looks over his right shoulder. Not that he's totally ignoring her or anything, but just in his whole brood mood.
Okay.
Turk, I know you fall into the bottle when you're mad or when you're sad. I didn't know this was part of it, but it won't fix anything. You need to be sharp when time comes to do what we need to do, even if we don't know what it is yet. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but this is mostly sugar. And if he's silent, she's going to set her drink down next to him and let him just get deeper into his own mess.
I'm about it. I think you handled that really well. Both of you.
He reaches out and picks up the drink and sets it back down without drinking any.
Yeah. You should place down. Hi, Legend Hillary. Welcome. Okay.
Cass is gonna freeze him out at this point, unless he's gonna say something, and then she's gonna roll for brooding too. Big grumpy friend.
Give me a brooding check.
An 8.
Yep. It's Broody Central. You are the new hit ABC show, The Brooding Sins, because this is how broody this cast has gotten. Okay. Tren is keeping an eye on things here in the area. You're involved in polite conversation with individuals and other things of that sort. Tren, you are becoming more and more concerned that this is not the path that time took the first go round. You are starting to piece together that the timeline is starting to skew from this point onward, and it gives you the heebie-jeebies a little bit, pal, because you're not sure what's going to happen, especially with the world that you live in, which is so technology based. What if Tesla had become the reigning sort of person and not Edison at this point? And so you're starting to I think because of your background alone start to piece all of this together. The broody bunch. Ark, you get DM inspiration.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with that. My keyboard is so far away that it's hard for me to type
No, our
anything.
chat's on fire tonight, dude. They got more jokes and good comments. Ark is killing me. Ark and Pat draws. And we're happy to see Legend Hillary. Welcome. Okay, Texas. We're going to keep the trend going with your characters as you are brought into the study.
Oh, I'm not feeling broody at all.
No.
Just way too honest.
Not that trend. As the girl walks into this space, the study is very nice. There is a small fireplace in the corner. You see a couple of bookshelves set up with all sorts of books and things of that sort off to the side. But underneath one of the bookshelves, she opens a cabinet and pulls out what looks to be a large black box with 2 cables coming out of it.
Okay.
Okay. She then takes a metal rod out that's from behind the box and tells you to hold on to it.
I feel like we should at least do introductions before I'm holding some random scary box.
I told you I don't have a name.
Can I call you Pie?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hold this?
Why?
Because it doesn't work unless you're holding it.
Okay, what's it gonna do?
It's not going to do anything.
Okay, then why are you having me hold it?
And she puts
okay, fine. I will hold it. Yes, and
this way. Turn it like this.
Okay.
And she sets it up, and you got it held on firmly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She takes a wire.
I'm a little nervous.
She takes a wire and connects it to one side, and takes a wire and connects it to the other side, and she's like, "Hold on to it tight, okay?"
Okay.
And she slaps the side of the box, and about 1,000 volts of electricity pump up from that wire through Texas's body. And Texas, you are unconscious.
Wow.
Go ahead and give me your first death saving throw.
Crap. Well, okay.
I knew it was always.
You
the
know, I
chance to
saw
be
that
somebody.
going differently.
All right. Well.
First death saving throw, please.
Yep. Okay. That was a 19.
19. So you can count this as a success.
Thanks.
As a few things happen.
Okay.
Holding on to the metal, your soul, you see a white light in front of you. As you see the traditional, hey, it's the white light. And then your hand, the right hand that was holding on to the metal, gets real hot as your hand, your spiritual hand is propelled. It is rocketed away from the light, past it, beyond it, way fast as you feel your body being held onto this, and you are Superman as you go flying off to the side, holding on to this metal. As you do, the metal starts to slow down until you see before you a set of fields The fields are made of flowing wheat, it looks like. Everything has a sort of watery feel to it, as if you're moving slowly through water. But the rod is taking you to a destination, but just now it has slowed down. Go ahead and give me another death saving throw, please.
18.
Okay, that's another success. As you feel the rod start to push you forward, but through sheer force of will, you hold on to it and pull it back, and you hear, "Ruff!" And you turn your head to the side. And as you do, Wolf comes bounding up to you, and he's crying, and he's got his face pressed up against your side, and you got with your other hand.
I grab
you...
him and I do not let go.
Okay, you are holding on to him. And he's just like he's like licking your face. He's licking your arms and stuff like that. You see a gentleman running after Wolf. And when you first see him, he looks exactly like Turk. However, he's a little taller. He's a little rounder around the belly. His beard is a little bit more well-defined. And he goes, "Hey, what are you doing with my dog?"
Turk?
No.
Who are you?
Wolf looks at him and looks to you and just goes starts hopping up and down. He's running around this man.
Where is this place?
Give me another death saving throw. Hang on. Before you tell me this number, do you want to fail?
It was a fail anyway.
Okay. You feel a little bit more of your life essence drained from you at this point, as you were feeling yourself pulled in another direction, but you suddenly feel less like water walking in this space and more like you have purchase in the ground. Okay, you it's less floating and more like, oh, I can feel solid earth beneath my feet. And he goes, no, this is my boy. This is Wolf.
Where are we?
In the Elysian Fields.
And who are you?
Wait. Boy, do you know her? And he's barking and hopping up and down and stuff like that. And he goes, "You're with Turk."
Yeah, you look just like him. Who are you?
He's my son. How is he? Tell me all about him. Is he brave? Is he strong? What do his eyes look like? Does he have his mother's eyes? Tell me he has his
mother. He is very brave and he is very strong.
Give me another death saving throw.
Crap. That was a fail too.
Okay. You are not floating anymore. You are standing up in these fields.
2 fails.
That was
two fails, 2
successes,
successes.
and 2 fails.
Yeah. And he goes, and he's ecstatic. And for the first time, he puts a hand on your shoulder, and you feel the hand. It is like purchase. It is there on your shoulder, and he goes "What are you doing here?"
I came to get Wolf.
It's the metal. You don't know about the metal. What you're holding on to, it's a beacon. It's gonna draw you full. She's getting closer. Look, when you get back here, you guys have to find your way here, but don't do it this way. You're doing this the wrong way.
How do we get here?
The metal is pushing you. You have to go through the portal. You have to figure out a way to open it up, but you have to stay anchored to the other side. Give me another death saving throw.
Oh God! Yeah, to other side. Oh God, this is so awful.
Wait, one more.
Do I get to use my +5 from Vicky if I need to?
He takes you by the shoulders, puts both hands on her shoulders, and he goes, tell him this. When he gets here, he has to stay close to...
Fail.
Okay. He has to stay close to, and as your feet finally fully touch and your body hits, your soul is at peace. You feel happy and content in this spot, and he can see the color draining from you, and Wolf puts both paws up on your body and goes, whoa! And as he does, that bark resonates through your body and it hits your heart in a way that causes your heart to go boom, 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 and you wake up going back in the study. Your mouth doing a gasp of air as that bark seems to be reverberating around through the entire room. As you sit up, holding on to the metal in a death grip, holding on to it, you are at 1 hit point.
Okay. Got it.
Did you see him?
Oh, yeah, I saw him.
That's good.
Thank you.
She puts the box in there. She takes the rod, puts the rod in. You got what you wanted. She taps you on the shoulder. She goes to the door and she opens it up and she walks out.
It's the sister I never had.
And Wolf is not here. Wolf didn't come with me.
Wolf is not with you. As you drop your hand, the rod is out of your hand. In your other hand is a tuft of white fur.
Oh gosh. I'm running to Turk. I'm finding Turk as fast as I can. She left the device.
The car battery? Yes, she left the car battery.
It was a car battery. Okay. Crap.
She gave you a metal rod, hooked up 2 wires to it, and said, "Hold on to this real tight." And you were like, "Is this magic? What does this have to like?" Yes, she left the battery.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm leaving it and I'm running to find. Do I see anything interesting in this room before I leave this room? Like if I just do kind of a visual scan of this room, is there anything here that?
Give me an investigation check.
No. It's 5. No.
Did you want to use your +5?
Yes. To make it a 10. Sure.
Okay. Okay. You search the room. You go through the study. You don't find a lot until you're about to leave the room, and your eyes happen to glance up above the door.
Okay.
You see something called. You see this painting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The painting shows you this. It shows a caveman crafting an axe. He's going up against like a mastodon or something like this, and he's holding the axe in the air. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next image you see is of a soldier, and he's got instead of the axe, it looks like the axe is affixed to a long stick. He's using the stick to fight off a group of men that are swarming him, and then the sphere turns into a shield. Okay? It looks like a rudimentary shield that he's holding like this. And then the last image you see is the same metal that goes from axe to spear to shield to a man in full plate, surrounded by other men, holding a sword.
Does the sword look familiar?
It does look familiar.
Does it look like Excalibur?
It does look like Excalibur. And your eyes dart back to the cabinet.
I'm gonna go look.
Okay. You go over to where the car battery was.
Yeah.
You pull out the car battery.
Yeah.
Behind it is a metal rod.
Like the same one I was holding?
Yep. The one that burned in your hand. The one that pulled you away from the white light.
I don't want to steal it. She helped me. No, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna make a mental note, but I'm not gonna
Put it back
steal
in there. Give me buddy, give me an intelligence roll. You spent enough time around this that that unless you totally whiff it.
Okay. Nothing's working for me right now. My int is so it's a 14.
14. The metal is soft but firm in your hands. It almost has
Gold?
a give to it. No, it's not gold, but it does remind you of something. It reminds you of a metal that you interacted with very briefly not too long ago, a couple of hours. It reminds you of the metal used to construct this circular portal.
Okay, so it's oh.
Okay, so whatever the metal is that you were holding is the same
Okay.
metal that was used to construct this thing. Okay?
Okay, I'm gonna take the rod. I feel awful about taking it.
Okay. You do not have to do this.
No,
Okay.
no, it's important. We need it, but
Turk, Texas
taking
comes
it.
walking out. Okay?
I'm gonna sober him up real quick. I look like crap, don't I? And I don't have a way to fix that. I'm going to hand him the fur. He's gonna know. He's got to know, right?
It smells of salt water. It smells of early mornings. It smells of cuddles on big beanbag chairs. It smells of early mornings and time spent together, and you are instantly sobered by a part of your heart returning to you in the form of a tuft of white hair.
Where did you get this?
I almost had him.
Where's what?
I'll
What do
tell
you
you
mean?
everything, but I don't think I should tell you here.
Okay, do I recognize her as not being well right now?
Yeah, she's hurt. She's
What
hurt.
the what happened? Sit down.
I'll sit down, and we might still have some things we need to find out here. But
I'm up on my feet and I've got her sitting down. I'm
Ting, 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 ting,
tell
ting, ting,
tell me
ting.
everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served. Please make your way to the dining room and join us for a sumptuous meal.
And who? I'm sorry. Who was that?
That was a servant, a man dressed in finery, holding a tray of food as he walks over to the main doorway and seems to speak out so that his voice carries outside of the room as well. Tesla sits at the head of the table and gestures to the seat on his left. The seat on his right is occupied by an individual that has one of the wildest beards and mane of hair that you've ever seen in your entire life. The man seems to have a bright orange beard and bright red hair that seems to almost grow to be so long as to form a mane around his head. But he sits.
Leo.
You could call him Leo if you wanted to. He sits on the right hand of the father. The left hand of the father is reserved for William, and his assistant sits one seat down.
You said the father?
Tesla being at the head of the table,
Ah,
representing.
gotcha.
The
Okay.
father of science? Yes.
Whoa.
Where is he?
he's not here, but we can get him. It's going to be hard. We can get to him.
Let's go.
We need more information. We need to find out more about that portal and how it was built. But we can get to him. That's proof.
Tess is gonna reach over and put her hand on Turk's hand or leg or whatever available to be comfortable.
Okay. Turk, you have proof. You have proof he's alive. Wherever he is, he's okay.
Turk's going to take that for what it's worth and allow himself to be led to the table, or whether he's not going to refuse to go to dinner.
Yeah.
He's not going to have much of an appetite for dinner.
Cool. You guys sit down. He's slightly bald, but he's okay. That's right, Pat. He's got one little bald spot. All of you sit down, finding spots at the dinner table. There's not a ton of dinner conversation that takes place. There's a bit It is a 4-course meal. I will not go into the specifics so as to make you all hungry, including myself. The food is delicious. Throughout the night, William catches death glares from the woman on your left, and Mr. Tesla is very happy to be regaled of how amazing he is. And regales to you how he got to where he is by following his brain, and how it is not a fault of their own, but women are just built differently. That they just are too preoccupied with giving birth to babies to make any real contribution to the science as a whole.
So as soon as he says that, is that what you've chosen your assistant for? Is she your mate?
Oh, no, no. I chose her because and he like looks at her, and she goes, I saw an opening and I took it. I handled the day-to-day business, so that Mr. Tesla can concentrate on the bigger picture.
Well, that's very progressive of you, sir. She seems quite capable.
Um, he nods his head and he goes, women need guidance in a way, and in order to find their way in the world a bit.
Well, that is very interesting to hear, because you've given her basically the entire. Well, you know what? You've put her in charge. I think that's really big of you, sir. That's quite a special.
I regret helping this guy so much.
Okay. I have not thought about it in this way. Huh. Maybe I would be better suited finding someone else. Thank you, William, for bringing this to my attention. I will.
Can I do a perception on her face while he's saying this stuff? Can I, or an insight check on her face?
Like, I really want
Everybody
to
give me a
Like
perception
to
check.
see, is it perception or is it insight?
It's perception. Actually,
Oh,
tell you what.
20.
Tell you what. What do you want to know? If you're trying to glean her attitude, it's this thing. If you're trying to notice details,
I want details of if she's a little peeved and she's hiding it.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is a 23.
Is it perception or insight?
It's insight.
It's insight. She is really, really, really good at masking how she's feeling, and she's really, really good at it. But the corners of her mouth twitch just a little bit, and you don't know if she's pissed at Tesla for the ideas or pissed at William for being like, you know what you need? A non-woman. You know, like he's just like, and William is poking the bear, as it were.
Well, okay, so I chose my words very carefully.
I am very aware. I'm very aware. Yeah. Cass, what about you?
Oh,
Perception?
this is funny. But honestly, I was going to say, I want to see if she twitches, and then you said it. So
Perception or insight?
With a dirty 20. It was a, well, perception's different. If it was insight, it was also 23.
You need to tell me, because perception, you're noticing details. Insight, you're studying her face.
Then it was the original intention was perception at a 20. Dirty.
Okay. Texas's eyes dart up, Cass's eyes dart down, and notice the fork sticking out of her thigh.
It's rubbish.
She takes she takes a deep breath in, and you see the hand just like take the fork that's like punctured her leg, and she takes the fork and puts it back on the table, and just without missing a beat, a little bit of red still on the fork, take some of the food from the plate and bring it to her mouth after stabbing her own leg with it.
Cass will stifle any kind of, I guess I'll probably need to roll for that, stifle some kind of reaction that sounds probably like whatever I just did, just like a giggle or.
She's not going to notice. She's a little preoccupied.
Perfect.
Okay. I would like to, unless you have other, if there, you need to talk to anybody else or get any other things, we can cut away from me.
No,
But I would like to, okay, great. I would like to address Morgana and say, you seem so capable. Does he not know your qualifications? Have you not told him how excellent you are?
Thought he said he was going to keep his mouth shut this time.
I need to, honestly, but here we are.
What we're talking about here.
She nods and says, it's funny. Mr. Tesla has granted me a great opportunity to be his assistant, and I'm beyond grateful. But alas, I believe time is a tricky thing. Moments are here 1 minute and then gone the next. So as time flows ever onward, you never know when the opportunity will arise to take the job, the dream of a lifetime, or say hello to a loved one. I had a cousin once. I believe her name was Laura. She was a beautiful girl. Very smart, capable, a librarian, I believe, and it was very sad. I had wished that I was able to communicate to her just how deeply I cared for her. But alas, she passed away, suddenly and quickly, and I always regretted the time I spent away from her, and I always wondered and thought to myself, did I make a mistake? Did I fly too close to the sun on wings of wax? Time is funny.
Did it seem she was not talking to me?
She seemed to be speaking out.
Okay.
Okay. Until she got to the end and she said, was I being foolish? That was pointed.
Do I notice to whom that was addressed to at the end?
Yeah, it was addressed to you.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure.
But what do I know? What do I know? I'm prone to flights of fancy. It's my prerogative as a woman, I suppose, to think of such wild things and get wrapped up in my emotions.
I'm afraid you misunderstood. I did say that he was being progressive in choosing you and having you as the correct choice. I don't think you took what I was saying as how I meant it, but the outcome seems to be what it is.
It's true. It's very true. William, you never did explain to us over the course of dinner how you almost disrupted the festivities earlier.
You know how mistakes happen, things get said. That's...
William, didn't you also have a run-in with the police earlier today?
There was a misunderstanding earlier, yes.
With that, Mr. Tesla ruffles a little bit and scoots his chair back just a tiny bit. And goes, well, I think that dinner is all finished for the night. We should bid good night to everyone here, I believe. And I think we are quite done with the festivities for one evening. Yes?
Dinner was fantastic. The company incredible. I thank you
Of
again.
course. Yes. Thank you. I look forward to other invitations to be extended to this lovely group of individuals at some point.
Oh, the time should be short between this and the next. Thank you.
Yes, of course. And he will stand up, and as he stands, everybody will stand up as well at the table.
Could I interest you in a little after dinner aperitif?
Yes. Gentlemen, if you would like to accompany me to the study, I would be happy to host. And he will gesture to Texas, William, Tren, and Turk, uh, and sort of like a gesture towards the study. Um, does anybody politely say no?
I have to see a man about a horse, so I'll be in with you shortly.
Euphemism for urination.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I do a finger gun like a at Texas?
Yeah, you of course. Yes. Roll for
And
finger gun.
I'm gonna send a message. I'm gonna message her
Okay. What do you message?
with the cover of the finger gun.
Sure.
Things have gone terribly bad. I need you guys to keep track of her.
Yes, I'm planning. I can return.
You can return one message.
I'm planning on speaking to her now, as soon as possible.
A little wink back.
Thanks,
partner.
Tren, when you get up to leave, overalls girl is standing behind you. So as your chair comes out and you kind of turn up to leave to go to the study, she's standing there and she goes, "Hi."
Oh, hello.
What's your name?
My name is Tren. What's yours?
Hi.
I didn't hear what you said.
Um,
Sorry.
My name is Pi.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Thanks. It's new. Do you like talking?
I'm very socially awkward.
Same.
Oh.
Sounds like we could be friends.
I love you.
I don't have a lot.
That's okay.
I build things.
What was that?
I build things.
Oh, me too.
You do? What have you built?
I don't have anything on me. They kind of made me take all my stuff off in the other room.
That's okay.
But-
I'll Pat draws. That can't be your solution for everything. She goes, oh. I can show you what I built.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Okay. Did you see the thing earlier? Outside?
The portal?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was really.
It's not my best work. Do you have to go in with everyone else?
I don't think so.
Okay. She reaches down and grabs your hand. And as she grabs your hand, she kind of leads you out of this room very, very quickly. She leads you outside of this room, past the kitchens and things of that sort. She realizes about 30 seconds into this that she's holding your hand, and she thinks about letting go. You see her kind of stop and look down at your hands, and then realize, no, I like this, and then just keep walking, holding your hand. So she doesn't let go. She's shorter than you, but you can see her kind of leading you through this space, and people tending to ignore her as you sort of nod at individuals as you go past. And she leads you outside the kitchen, out to the back of the house, where there is a barn set up, not too far away. She leads you over to the barn, and she goes, "You're like me."
I am.
That's That's beautiful.
What was that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's hard, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah. Hi, nerd. And Trent, welcome to the show, gang. Thank you for joining us for the Lost Isle. We were just talking about you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for the raid. We love you so much. Oh my gosh, so many people. You guys are gonna make me cry again. Last time you were here. Thank you for the follow, Amanda. So Trent, you are led out to the barn. You were joining us for our D&D 5e game. You are led outside to where this barn is, and as she walks forward towards the door, Pi will begin to slowly bring open the door, and as she does, she kind of slams it shut with her shoulder, standing in front of you, and she goes, "Tell me you're good."
I'm good.
Are you?
Yes,
You are.
100%.
And she leads you, and she goes, the first one was good. And as she opens the barn, you see the larger secondary portal, and she goes, this one's better. And sure enough, you see a portal much larger. The metal circular ring that you saw once before with the symbols carved into it, the energy supplies on the outer banks of it. You see the same wires and things like that hooked up and connecting to this metal structure. But as you look at it, the craftsmanship almost brings you to tears, Tren. As you see, somebody has lovingly crafted this and spent a good amount of time crafting it. As she leads you into the space, she is pointing out not the perfections in the work, but the imperfections. She starts leading you to a spot and has a little story for every ding and scrape of the metal. Where she points out, this is where a hammer fell when I was holding it. This is where she was trying to get the wires to connect, and there was a small like burn mark on it. So as Tren is led around this space with Pi sort of talking about all of this, I want to head back in, and very briefly, I want to see what happens with Texas. Are you heading in
Yes.
to the study?
No, I don't. I want to talk to what's her name.
You want to talk to her?
Yeah, that's why I stayed out.
William, you're heading into the study.
Yes.
Turk, are you headed
I
into
wonder. Yeah, I wonder if somebody forgot to replug his laptop.
Oh,
back
that
in
might
after
be it
the storm
too.
Went past.
We're gonna
So-
hold off until he can join us really quick. But Turk, are you headed in as well?
Yes, I will be heading into the study, looking back at Cass before I go in.
Okay.
With kind of a raised eyebrow. You gonna be
Cass,
okay?
your options are pretty open right now. What would you like to do during all this?
More than anything, Cass is going to stick with Turk for emotional support because she feels exactly what he's going through and knows that he's kind of a loose cannon right now, and that leaving him by himself when he's like this is not going to be good for anybody. And she's kind of uniquely situated to.
You are going to be
Realizing
able.
that she's probably not invited into the study.
She is not invited into the study. Not without divine intervention. Like you are not going to be able to join Turk in the study where everybody is going to have this conversation.
Okay. In that case, she's going to squeeze his hand and kind of shoo him in and sit outside the door.
Okay. You're just kind of waiting for this to happen and stuff like that. I'll say this then. Texas, you're outside with Morgana. Tren is on a mission with Pi. William and Turk, you are ushered in. There's another like 4 or 5 individuals in this space. And you see Mr. Tesla sitting at his desk, and he gets out what looks to be a glass decanter and starts pouring drinks for those men that are in the space. A few men light cigars at this point, start passing around cigars to individuals that would partake.
Ask real quick, do I know, is this the same room that Texas and
It was.
okay. Okay.
Okay. William, you guys are sitting in this space. The conversation begins to pick up and amp up as Tesla has more and more um, drinks from the glass decanter. Those of you that do, it is a sweet, it is a strong brandy. Amanda, thank you so much. Oh, we love you. Tesla is a good guy to party with. As you guys drink more and more, Tesla gets a little loose-lipped. Do you guys try to steer the conversation in any particular direction?
Yes, I want to know everything about him, Morgana, and the interactions between them, and why does or not. What's the security team? Try to find more about them. So I want to get as much information I can about his involvement with them and why they're there.
Sure. Tesla goes off on a rant as you pry him more.
I will sweet talk his ego, stroke it, massage
Oh,
it,
please
little
calm
back
down,
rub.
please.
I'll even rub its feet if I've got to.
Give me a straight up charisma roll right now as you are trying as you are trying to sweet. This is exactly what charisma rolls are made for. As you are trying to figure out the situation and get everything taken care of.
Okay, so I
Yep.
get a. Is it performance or just
It's a straight up charisma roll, buddy.
straight up charisma roll? So no
persuasion. If persuasion is a little higher.
I would definitely help you with this, but Turk is more concerned about knowing this is where she came out with it.
Yep. No, I
He's
will
a little
take
distracted right
okay,
now.
so I got a 17 on the die.
Okay.
Straight up 16.
Okay. Okay. You are able to guide the conversation fairly well as he at one point accuses you of having a crush. Oh, you must have a crush on my assistant. You are not the first man who has come into my house and viewed her. And I have noticed her beauty as well. She brought in this team. He sort of gestures out to a few individuals in the room, the man with the beard, the man with the cane. And as you ask about them, he's like, there are, I don't know, 10 or 11 of them that seem to operate in different functions, but they cover all the needs that I have. And he sort of nods at them appreciatively. He goes, it was Morgana, Lady Morgan, that introduced me to the concept of the metal.
Do you
use the name Morgana as a slip, or
you introduced her earlier, William?
I said Morgana
at the very beginning. When you guys first met, Tesla goes, "Oh, your name's Morgana," and he goes, "I didn't know your name was Morgana." She goes, "I prefer
just
Morgan."
wondering if did he actually say Morgana?
He did. He did.
Okay.
Because William was like, "Oh, this is Morgana," and he's like, "I didn't know that was your name."
planted that seed.
Yeah, you planted that seed, so I want to respect it. Thank you, Patchter. Appreciate the follow. You're the best. Okay.
All right. If that's the maximum amount of information I can glean from him, I will leave it at that. I won't try to dig any more than what you.
Perfect. You're gonna stop right there. Okay. Yeah. He waxes philosophic with you for a little bit, and he drinks a lot. And you see him start to get a little tired. You know, it's been a long day and kind of some ups and downs and stuff like that. But as he starts to sort of wane on and on with his stories, talking about and the next great thing, the next big thing. At a certain point, he sits behind his desk. Cass, about an hour goes by of you sitting outside the door, but you hear occasional bits of laughter and conversation come from the room. But after a bit of time, the doors would open up to the group, exiting and a lot of them bidding goodbye at this point. However, Texas, you were going to follow Morgana.
Yes.
Okay. Lady Morgan is walking about. Miss Morgan is walking about the space. And were you being discreet about this?
No.
Or are you just...
I want to talk to her. I want her to see that I am.
Okay.
There.
She's there as the men go into the study. She turns around and looks at you.
Is there anyone else around at this point? Like,
I'll-
have they already gone all the way in?
Do
Like
you,
nobody else would hear me say anything to
do
her?
you want anyone around?
No.
Okay, then there's no one around.
Just I'm the only person outside
Yeah,
the door.
and
I feel
that's fine if
Cass-
Cass is
Cass
there.
is
That's
outside-
totally fine if Cass
Cass
is
is
there.
outside the study. This is still in the dining room.
Well, you know as well as I do that I don't belong in there. So
Okay.
did you build it or did she build it?
Both.
Why do you stay with him? I mean, he's clearly a bit of an ass. Why bother? Why not, if you're gonna build these things, why not just team up and build them if they need to be built? What's it for? Why?
She laughs a little bit and says, you really don't know, do you?
I don't. I'd like to.
An idiot sets forth to change the things that they should not. A idiot sets forth to bring about the end of everything. A wise woman does not choose to end the world. I am quite fond of this world. A wise woman would give subtle shifts. A little bump here, a little push there, so that the end result works. A fool might try to, let's say, race up a river, jumping up and down, trying to fight against the current until they are so exhausted and so tired, they end up in a sad man's pocket. I am not a fool, Texas. I am not an idiot. I am not a woman that must follow a man's example.
Well, he could have been unsuccessful all by himself.
And he still will be.
But it didn't work. Did you mean for it not to work?
Did I? Why would I do that?
I don't know. I don't know why you would build something that clearly has the potential to work and make sure it doesn't.
There's nobody else in the room with you, right?
No.
She punches you in the face.
Ow. I'm unconscious. I only had 1 hit point.
Okay? Okay. She's just gonna like lean back and punch you in the face.
Okay. I am on the floor.
Does a 15 hit your AC?
I'm pretty sure it does. Hold on a minute.
Are they in the
Yep,
hallway?
I'm 15.
No. They are in the dining room by themselves.
I
Gotcha.
have an AC of 15.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm unconscious. I'm making death saves.
Okay. You guys see as this event is coming to a close, and Tren, you are being led back into the space. I think everybody's gonna meet in the space as she goes, help, please, help, someone, please. Cass, Turk, William, you would all hear this as you are exiting the study. We'll say it was an hour of piddling about and waiting till the room was quiet. Does a 15 hit your AC?
Yeah, it's exactly
15 exactly?
Yeah.
She comes in cradling an unconscious Texas in her hands. This poor, helpless man fainted. I don't know what happened. He was standing in the space and he fainted outright. And she's holding, and like Texas is just out. She's unconscious. Give me your first death saving throw.
Yep.
And
I passed.
Okay.
Cass is gonna rush ahead, push through whoever's standing around, and try and get any kind of purchase.
She
in
hands
casting
her to
some kind
you.
of healing.
Cass, as you're the first one up to her, she hands her to you.
Does Texas's weight change when she's in this male form?
No.
Or would Cass be able to carry her?
Cass would be able to carry her.
Okay. Soft surface, chair, something, whatever.
Okay.
We're going, and then Cass is gonna try and cast.
You would hear.
Oh.
Do you want to take your friend to the car to lead you home?
What happened?
I don't know. They were standing in the room and they fainted.
Kirk is going to go up as well and see if there's some way he can revive Texas. Maybe
give me a medicine check, Turk.
He knows she was not doing well.
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
Oh, jeez. Now I get these rolls. It's going to be an 8 altogether.
Nope. You start looking through and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with her. I can't help her. Give me a second death saving throw.
That failed.
Failed as well. She goes, you really should make your way to the car. I can return all of your items to you. Maybe they just need some rest.
Cass is gonna shoulder Texas or whatever unceremonious pickup method she can out of the chair that she's in and like run towards the coat check.
Okay. You see the woman smiling who was standing there before. She has all of your items gathered for you in bags, and the smile is malicious and a bit evil as she stands there at the door, handing each of you a bag that contains all of your items inside of it. You see a car waiting for you, the same 2 individuals that drove with you to the estate, waiting out by the car. Is everyone leaving?
I would have gone with Cass. In fact, probably would have taken Texas out of her hands if she would have allowed that to happen.
Sure.
Probably because I might be able to move better.
Yeah. William, do you go as well?
I checked my bag.
Okay. Everything that you placed in there is still in there.
Are they the things that they were?
Yes, they
I
were.
look at my book. Is it
nothing? You want to take the time while she's making death saving throws? So you want to like flip through page by page?
No.
And be like, I got this one. I got this one. I got this one.
No, I just want to know it's my stuff.
Yeah, your stuff looks on a cursory glance. It looks fine. If you want to give me an investigation check, go ahead and give me another death saving throw.
Oh, yeah, that was a 2.
Yep,
I almost completely died just there. One more.
As soon as we get out of this building.
Wait, so now we're out of sight of the other people at the front, right?
Yeah.
She's
Out
not
the
forbidden
building
from.
so that she can
She's
heal
not
her.
forbidden from
That's
healing
what we're
her.
trying to do.
So heal her now.
Cass does not have her components. She does not have a focus. If she has a spell that is just verbal and somatic.
Cass, her intention was to dump the bag out as soon as she left their house and grab what she needs.
Okay.
Because Turk has taken Texas.
You walk to the front steps of the house, dump out the bag, grab your focus, and you cast what?
Life transference.
Okay. How much of your hit points are you transferring to?
It's not a choice, it's a roll.
Go ahead.
It's 4d8. That's a 6, 1, 7, and 1.
8. 8 or 9?
That's 6 and 3 1s, right?
6 and 3
No,
ones?
no.
So no.
6, 1, 7, 1.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
15.
15.
Yeah. You heal for 15 points. You can stop make death saving throws.
Thank you.
Wait, doesn't life transference give her more health than you, or is it straight 1-to-1 ratio?
Let me double check.
Might be half. You might only get 7 here.
Oh, wait. One creature of your choice that you can see within range regains a number of hit points equal to twice the necrotic damage
double
you
the
take,
amount.
So 30.
Yeah,
Oh,
she gets double the hit points.
Yep. Okay.
I
You
knew
are
there
at
was a
30 hit points.
You're welcome.
I feel so much better than I have for a long time.
Cool. You guys are making your way to the car. The other guests are starting to leave the party, and you see Mrs. Standing on the front porch, sort of like watching you all leave as you are shuffled to your cars and you start gathering up all of your items and shoving it back in the bag.
She's conscious now.
Yeah,
What happened?
She punched me, but I wasn't doing so well before. I'm not sure if she meant to knock me out. Maybe she
Texas
did.
who?
So she
Texas who?
Oh, Morgana. I was
So she
asking her about
broke
the thing she built.
she broke the hospitality.
Cass is going to take off her focus, leave the bag in the car, and march back to the front door.
Oh, I'll go with you.
No,
I'm not done.
you're
There's-
injured.
I'm not leaving
There's
you by
no way
yourself.
you're not going without me.
Whatever. And Cass gonna go.
Okay. Morgana is standing at the top of the steps. You watch as other individuals from the party all leave. Trent cast invisibility again, so he's staying pretty hidden during this encounter. As you guys all walk up in a line, Texas, William, Turk, and Cass, as Lady Morgana stands at the top of the steps, waving goodbye to all those that get in the cars. The two twins step outside of the car as you are not getting into the car itself. You see the gentleman with the scorpion cane standing not too far away at the front of the steps. You see the person with the beard and the long mane there. There is, who else would you see? I think that's it for now.
Can I just say one thing to her real quick?
Absolutely.
Listen, obviously you put a lot of time and energy into a very particular plan, and we don't want to inadvertently screw it up. So a little bit more information would probably help us at this point.
I already got what I wanted.
Sore knuckles.
Sore knuckles.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was the face punch.
What face punch?
You punched me.
That's not true. You slipped and fell on the table.
I thought you said you didn't know what happened, ma'am.
I didn't.
Oh, but now you do. That's clever. Very clever. The rules of hospitality do not apply when you want something.
The rules
I
of
guess. That's fine.
Are you questioning my recalling of the events that took place? And you'll see the two individuals at the bottom of the steps turn around and face Cass. Is this what you wanted to happen?
For you to punch her? Him? Absolutely not. I did not want that to happen.
You know
but
what?
here we are.
I may be misremembering the whole punching thing. I was a little out of it. All I want here is to make sure that we're all on the same page, because you've got things going on and we've got things going on, and and help me help you.
She once again smiles and she extends a hand to you.
Might as well. I grab her hand.
Yep.
I've already made enough saving throws tonight.
She takes another hand and she goes, subtle changes.
Right. I'd like to get our dog back.
What dog?
The one that went through the portal.
That sounds like a you problem.
All right, but we're going to be really, really persistent until that happens. So you can either help us with your subtle changes, or we can keep being persistent and risk inadvertently messing up everything you've set into place.
Persuasion check.
That sounds more like an intimidation.
That is a 25.
She just said, based on who we are as people, we're probably going to mess you up. We're based on who we are as individuals, we're going to mess your plans up majorly. 25. She goes, you want your dog back? Fine. Head to the back of the house. I'll assist you in getting your dog back.
They all heard that too?
Yep.
All right, back of the house.
Cool. Without a long rest in sight,
Crud!
you are led to the back of the house where the secondary portal is set. As you are led to the barn, you see an individual wearing overalls that is set up next to the portal as if they received some sort of silent communication. And Lady Morgana turns around to look at you all and smiles widely, and she goes, "Congratulations. You will be the first individuals to step through to the other side. Please note down everything that you see. This is a great opportunity. You're explorers, the first of your kind." With that, there is a slight hum of power as an individual that you didn't notice before, a small child, is leaning up against and drops the invisibility that they have been casting on themselves and is standing at the top of the portal, reaches down with two hands, grabs the sides of it, and you see a burst of electricity spark out from their fingers, swirling around the portal as she looks at you all and she says, "Go get your dog." Is this not what you wanted?
It is. It is. And I thank you kindly for exactly what you are offering right now. It's just that I've nearly died twice tonight.
Whose fault is that?
Probably mine. It usually is.
She looks at you and she says, "Isn't this yours?"
You who?
Turk. This dog.
I was muted when I made my statement. Without thinking, he's walking.
She looks at Turk and she looks at the portal as Turk is like starting to move forward and she says, "Go fetch."
Moving towards the portal.
As Turk steps through the portal, that is where we are ending tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight and hanging out with us. Decisions were made, choices were made. It was great. I loved every minute of it. It is a whirlwind. Y'all don't have a long rest anytime soon. You need to decide next week at the very top of the episode who is following Turk and who is staying behind and maybe do a little camp out, maybe make some snacks, have a cup of coffee, s'mores. And we will decide that next week, and we will see who does it. So we're going to go raid another channel real quick. It's going to be a lot of fun as we go raid this other channel. We like to support those that do TTRPG games. So yeah, thank you guys so much. We love you guys, and we love our Storytellers Union and our new friends from that. Thank you so much. Manda, thank you so much. Yeah, push her through. Okay, man, that's awesome. We love you guys so much. Indigo Connect, and hey, thank you for getting lost with us. We'll see you guys soon.